So there are three ways to classify children with CP. The first type is based on motor disability. They can be classified as either quadriplegic, hemiplegic, or diplegic. The second type of classification is based on muscle tone. They are categorized as either spastic, dyskinetic, ataxic, or mixed. And the last method of classifying children is using the Gross Motor Function Classification System, or GMFCS for short. They are rated on 5 different levels depending on functional abilities in sitting, walking, and wheeled mobility. In level 1, children are able to walk independently. In level 2, children are able to walk with some limitations. To compensate for this, children will require physical assistance, an assistive device, or other forms of wheeled mobility. In level 3, children will require some type of handheld mobility device when walking. In level 4, children are able to self-propel for short distances, but requires physical assistance or powered mobility for longer distances. Level 5 has the same description as level 4, but the main difference between the two is that in level 5, children have a further decline in their motor function and are transported by wheelchair in all settings. Our patient in the video is a level 2 spastic diplegia, where his lower extremities are affected more than the upper extremities. He is presenting with a scissoring-like gait pattern and a narrow base of support. His legs are adducted and internally rotated with slightly flexed knees. Damage to the basal ganglia is what is causing his choreic movements and bradykinesia, while damage to the cerebral cortex is what is causing spasticity of his plantar flexors and hypotonic trunk. Right now, our next intervention is going to be adding these cuff weights right here. So basically, that's going to do is it's going to drop the foot down on the floor, and that's going to help with the plantar flexor spasticity that the patient is experiencing. So I'm going to go ahead and add these cuff weights. There you go. And then as you can see, he dropped down on his lower half of the foot, on the backward half of the foot, because of the weight of the cuffs. And then my other physical therapist will add the cuff weights.
Okay. Okay, Gourgon, can I ask you to have you rotate now? Perfect. So now, just go ahead and rotate a little bit more. Pull this foot out. Okay. Okay. So now, as you noticed, the weight bearing did work for this patient. Sometimes it doesn't work, but as you notice, it's reduced his plantar flexor spasticity and has brought him to sort of the neutral dorsiflexion position. It can help promote a healthier gait pattern, which is what we're looking for. Reduce tension on his toes and his feet and his back. In this case, if this was not to work, in the best case scenario, there are, of course, other options to help reduce the plantar flexural spasticity. For example, there's botulinum-like injections. There's also surgeries that they could do which can lengthen the plantar flexor muscles like the soleus or the gastrocs. And then maybe the last result could be if this patient is in severe spasticity, we could also demonstrate an AFO, which we'll be seeing a little bit later on, to help promote also a healthy neutral position.
All right, so what we have here is a form of hippotherapy. Obviously, we can't get a horse into the clinic, so we have the patient on what we call a peanut, and it's going to be used to simulate the patient riding on a horse. Now, there's great evidence that backs up hippotherapy for cerebral palsy patients, in that it helps with their posture, it helps provide some sensory input to them, and it helps break up some of their some other motor patterns that we might see. So, you know, we can see the patient's hips here are abducted, which is great because most of the time they're spent in a scissoring type of gait. And then also, while the patient is riding the horse, they can also focus on strengthening some of their muscles, specifically the trunk or the trunk extensors and the abdominal muscles. Okay, so if you could come over here, I got a biofeedback unit placed on the patient. Right here, you can see that it's on the patient's paraspinal muscles. That's what we're going to be going for today. And then here you could see is we have it set, it's on, and as soon as the patient starts to activate these muscles, you'll go ahead and hear the beeping noise start to pick up. So Gourgon, go ahead and extend your trunk for me, please, to see what that sees like or looks like. Good. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and cue the patient on what to do. Okay, Gourgon. So throughout this exercise, I want you to try and get this green light to the middle, or if the patient is visually impaired, you can use auditory cues. So I want you to keep your chest up, and see how you hear that noise. It starts beeping faster. That's what we want to go for. Okay. All right. So okay, George, you can come over here. So we're going to start adding perturbations to the peanut. Okay, and I'm just going to hold this here, and then we're going to go ahead and start. Okay. So ready? Just yeah. Okay. So go ahead and lift up here. Good. Keep that there. Good. Just like that. That's what we want. Okay. And again, this is great for patients with CP. There's lots of evidence that backs up hippotherapy to treat CP. And this is how you do it in the clinic if you don't have a horse. Okay. Good.
So we have a patient here with spastic diplegia. We have an AFO right here. It's a solid one. This one's a PEDS specifically. And so we're just gonna demonstrate how to put it on. So patient, I'm just gonna put it right here. Go ahead and stick this in. All right. Pretty hard. Okay, all right. And we're just gonna do this. Put this right here. All right, how you feeling?
Good.
Good? All right, put this down. All right, so for this leg right over here, as you can see, it's called an equinus deformity, which is a common ankle joint malposition in children with CP. And Ren et al. Reported that over 50% of children with spastic diplegia has this deformity. So we can use AFOs to improve the deformity in order to enhance normal gait pattern. For example, toe walking or flat foot to heel strike. So patient, please stand up. So like I said, there are many types of AFOs, such as the solid AFO, but there's also hinged AFOs. These orthoses increase stride length, stability, reduce cadence, spasticity, and decrease excessive ankle plantar flexion, which will also help with balance. So go ahead and start walking. So a study in 2013, Dalvan et al. Studied the impact of hinged and solid AFOs on standing and walking abilities in children with spastic diplegia. They found that the hinged AFO showed the greatest improvements in gross motor function in these children due to the hinged AFO providing free dorsiflexion in the stance phase and limited plantar flexion, which facilitated normal weight shift in all planes, improved symmetry, and therefore a smooth gait pattern.